Super Random Japan. Nani?
The infamous streamer troll Johnny Somali has officially been arrested by Japanese authorities, which is great for people like me who love and respect Japan, or more importantly, anyone who respects humanity. Now, I know most viewers are thinking, no crap, that's old news, he's facing up to 3 years in prison, we heard it all before. But what you don't know is what is most likely to happen, as well as how the Japanese legal system works. And that's where I can provide a totally unique perspective because I've experienced it firsthand and was deported. Wait, what? What? What the fuck? What? Bullcrap, this is total clickbait. There's no way you are arrested and deported from Japan. Nope, I'm ashamed to say I fucked up my life and I'm finally ready to share my story. To possibly help others, inform people, or at least entertain people for a few minutes. What the heck? I have nothing left to lose. But first, back to Johnny. For those who aren't aware of the situation, a streamer, Ramsey Khalid Ismail, who goes by the name of Johnny Somali, was wreaking havoc in Japan within the last 6 months or so by live streaming beyond tasteless material in which he would harass Japanese people and act like a general ass, taking advantage of the honor and humbleness of the Japanese culture. His trademark phrase was Fukushima or Nagasaki, referencing the various nuclear disasters in Japanese history.
You know Hiroshima? You know Hiroshima? Nagasaki? You know. Why you do this? Pearl Harbor? Hiroshima! Nagasaki! Yes, man, nigga, yes, Hiroshima.
After multiple tasteless live streams, foreigners, aka Gaikokujin or Gaijin, yes, we call ourselves that in Japan, much like the N-word, it's derogatory but somehow cool if we use it. But that's a lesson for another day. Anyway, foreigners in Japan were kind enough to start punching Johnny to put him in his place. They'd knock him out, and this would become a regular thing.
Oh, whoa! Go back and whoa! What the fuck? They pulled up on me with 3 cars, bro, unmarked. Whoa! No, whoa!
But it settled down when he started calling the cops on people. Thankfully, in all his mishaps and streams, police started becoming regular viewers of his. They were looking for their chance to actually catch him committing a crime. And their time came in late August, when Johnny was dumb enough to enter a construction site, an actually punishable crime.
Tell them Yamaguchi niggas. Yamaguchi Gumi niggas. Tell them I said what's up.
Oh, he's going into the warehouse? Nah, this is wild. I'm just a cameraman right here. I'm just a cameraman. I don't know what the fuck is going on right now. I am sorry. Oh, he's going in the warehouse, dog. Oh my god, chat. What the fuck did I get myself into? Oh, he's mad. He's getting mad, bro. He's getting activated, dog. Chat. He's getting activated, dog. He's pushing him out.
Hey, Fukushima. Whoa! No. Fukushima. Hey, Fukushima.
He's pressing him.
Hey, Fukushima. We come to work. We come to work.
Even his cameraman knew it was wrong, as the construction crew got pissed and kicked him out, all while Johnny threw his amazing finishing Fukushima, a war crime move, like a little bitch. Well, the police came out like the thunder, which is unusual. YouTuber Sora the Troll even noted how strange this was, since police usually need to investigate before they just slap cuffs on, unless it's a violent crime. It's as if they were waiting for this moment. I can also relate about the oddity of immediate cuffs. And here's the moment you may have been waiting for. You came here for Johnny, but stayed for my random ass. And so this is where I can start relating and explaining all the fun things Johnny has surely been experiencing, and what he has to look forward to. The joys of jail in Japan. I first want to say I've always loved and respected Japanese culture. In fact, the main reason I created this channel was to share my love and experiences and to live vicariously, since I can never go back. I'm extra sad and angry when I see people like Johnny Somali taking advantage of such a great culture. So many people take advantage of Japan, not just Johnny, but other IRL streamers, YouTubers, etc., and sadly, even many military. Anyway, back to my story and likely Johnny's experience. Back in 2014, I found myself again being fortunate enough to be living with a Japanese visa in Tokyo. I had a great job, a beautiful girlfriend, and well, everything I could ever want, except a lot of disposable income. Moreover, I was working long hours and Golden Week was coming, which is Japan's summer week-long holiday that incorporates several holidays altogether. I had plans to spend it with my girlfriend and her family, but I didn't have money for the bullet train tickets. So, my dumbass had the brilliant idea to forge the well-known JR Pass that tourists use. It's a pass only available to tourists that lets you travel unlimitedly around the country for 1 to 3 weeks on anything with the Japan Railways label, which is most public transportation, from trains to buses and ferries and even the bullet trains. The pass had a simple design, and I was a graphic designer. More importantly, the design hadn't changed in like 10 years. To even be safe, I made sure in January that the design was the same for the new year. The trick worked like a charm. I could visit my girlfriend, had a phenomenal vacation, and saved hundreds of dollars. But then, I got greedy. I used it a couple more times. Eventually, karma stepped in with a vengeance. For the first time in ages, the pass design changed. In April, without me knowing. You see, the national sales tax raised, and to adjust for it, the JR Pass design needed to be updated to show the new price. In doing so, not only did the design change, but it changed from a simple folded card design to a double-fold 3-page leaflet design. So, as I tried to use my forged pass again in May, the red flags were raised, and my life began its downward spiral. I was first taken to the station office and interrogated by personnel, while the police were notified. I lied and said I bought the pass online, a lie I'd run with until my lawyer told me to put it to rest. Anyway, the police arrived and escorted me to the station without handcuffs at this time, and I almost got away with even using my cell phone, but they politely told me it wasn't allowed. Upon reaching the station, I was interrogated and finally put into handcuffs and thrown in a jail cell. Here's where Johnny and my experiences will surely merge. For those who don't know, Japan does not have a bail or bond system. You cannot buy your way out of jail. You are there for a minimum of 7 days, but up to 28, while they investigate. The only way you get out sooner is if your lawyer can strike a deal with the plaintiff. For example, many cases involve fighting or groping or molesting, and a deal can be made swiftly between parties to settle things out of court. However, for us gaijin, you're not going to be so lucky. My lawyer tried to strike a deal with Japan Railways, and they totally weren't having that. Like me, Johnny will likely be there for the full 28 days to allow the police to gather all the necessary info and evidence. That's another thing that is torturous. Oh, let me get into the torture of Japanese jail. Johnny is surely shitting himself. I could at least speak Japanese, and it'd be way worse being as clueless as him. He also kept asking at the time of his arrest for someone to call the embassy, but guess what? The embassy does nothing except make sure that you're getting legal attention. The embassy did dick all for me and didn't even show up for almost a week. They didn't even contact my family. Thankfully, my girlfriend and her family helped me the whole way, and I could never repay their love and support. Anyway, back to the legal process. First of all, the cells are small and crappy. You get a cheap quality futon, not like American sofa bed style futon, it's just a sleeping bag you lie on top of. Yes, you sleep on a hard, uncomfortable floor. Bedtime is 9 p.m., but they merely dim the lights, they're still on all night. They wake you up at 6 a.m. if you slept at all. After you wake up, you have to clean the cell and the in-ground toilet. My cell was carpeted, which was extra gross, because I could see all the hairs and everything from hundreds of previous inmates, and the cheap-ass vacuum they give you is nowhere near strong enough to get it clean. From then on, the day is boring as hell. You aren't allowed to nap. You can get reading material and clothes delivered. The reading material will have the staples removed and the clothes will have strings removed. You can bathe once or twice a week with other inmates and shave, I think, every other day with really bad electric shavers. The food is the worst part. at least in local jails. Tokyo Penitentiary is different, but I'll get to that later. Another thing to mention is that most of the people you'll run into are Yakuza or Japanese mafia. Like 70% of people in jail or prison in Japan are Yakuza. Now, I got along great with them because I'm not mafia and I speak Japanese. However, Johnny doesn't speak Japanese and was already in the Yakuza sights even before jail. Even if he's not getting bullied by them, jail sucks royally. The food is cold leftover bento boxes from whatever store they got it from the day before. The rice is cold and hard, fried food is soggy and cold, and there's old fish, noodles, fermented soybeans, etc. I grew up hearing the phrase, beggars can't be choosers when it comes to food, but Japanese jail taught me beggars can be choosers. Because if I chose to eat some of the food, I'd throw up, making me even more calorie depleted. So, I had to just skip some meals. Even the average skinny Japanese person loses weight in jail. The most stressful part of my 28 days in jail was the interrogations. At any time, you would be called back into a room for interrogation. It would come anytime, any day. They could ask you for info, search your home, etc. as many times as they want until the investigation is over. Also, during the 28 days, you get bussed in chains to the central prosecution courts for further questioning, this time by prosecutors, not police. While there, you spend the day with people from other jails, locked in a cell, eating more crappy food, waiting for your turn in front of the prosecutor. Once the 28 days is over, you get prosecuted or sent home, but basically you're prosecuted. After all, Japan has over a 98% conviction rate for crimes, so you're basically fucked. Even though I knew my fate, I still needed to wait almost 2 months for a court date, so I was sent to Tokyo Penitentiary. Now we're likely where Johnny is. In Tokyo Penitentiary, rules are crazy strict, but at least food is way better. It's healthy, warm, and cooked daily by inmates instead of day-old bentos. You can also purchase commissary if you have the money. I never realized how heavenly instant coffee and Hershey bar could be. Anyway, talking is almost forbidden, and it's run like a military. You have a choice of a 4-person cell or your own cell. If I was there for years, I definitely would have wanted a shared cell for sanity and to keep up with my Japanese, but for my short time, I chose my own cell. One sentence, you have to serve hard labor, which I hear is a total nightmare. Until sentencing, though, you at least have it a bit easier. Again, just spending time alone in your cell. However, you still can't nap or be lazy. There's no TV either, just radio, and you can't change the station. If you have visitors there, a guard is naturally present, and you're not allowed to speak English, so I'm very curious how Johnny is handling it. Your court date comes, you're sentenced. And here is where I think I know what'll happen to Johnny. In my case, I was sentenced to 2 years of hard labor, but with a 4-year probation period. In other words, I was free. If I screwed up in 4 years, I'd have to serve time for any new mistakes plus 2 years hard labor. However, none of that mattered. You see, if you get a sentence of anything more than 1 year and you aren't a Japanese citizen, you're deported. That's the catch. I'm sure dozens of people did what I did by forging a JR pass, and so Japan Railways wanted to make an example of me. And Johnny is the same. Japan wants to make an example that you can't take advantage of their kindness and timidness. Could Johnny spend 3 years in prison? Yeah, possibly. After all, I've heard worse stories. One was about an American with a tattoo who refused to leave a bathhouse and got 7 years in prison. You see, tattoos are associated with the mob in Japan and thus not allowed in public baths unless you cover it. Again, it sounds like an example where they wanted to make an example of somebody. Johnny may be facing just that. However, more likely than that, he'll be given a warning and then deported. However, there's also a good chance they're investigating other crimes involving Johnny, and now that they have his cell phone and other info, there might be more coming up. My only worry is that he'll get let loose, and before deportation, he'll claim victory and still make videos until they force him out. And that's what they may also realize as a possibility. In that case, they may decide the best option is prison time. As for his cameraman, it might be the prior route of probation and deportation. We shall see. However, I hope to shed a bit more light on things. The Japanese legal system is very strict, and Johnny is definitely shitting himself. That's the best part, no matter what happens. And no matter what happens, I'm sure the situation will be permanently resolved.